There's another double whammy for cotton in India. That what is, apart from Indians not being allowed to produce their own cloth, instead having forced to buy the Manchester cloth, there was a second hit, a double whammy. What is that?
Actually, we saw that even in 400s BCE, Greece and Egypt were not growing cotton. They did not know about cotton. Now we hear about Egyptian cotton being superior to Indian cotton. Now what had happened is, when they designed the spindles for these Manchester mills, see, by then Britain had also conquered parts of Egypt. So Egypt was also under British rule, and they were influencing the growth of products in Egypt as well.
In the Nile Valley, they are growing cotton there. They started growing huge quantities of cotton to supply to Europe and to England.
Because they found it easier to ship from Egypt to Britain vis-a-vis shipping all the way from India to Britain. So cotton cultivation in Egypt was encouraged by the British, and it was far cheaper for them to buy the cotton from Egypt. Now this variety of cotton grown in Egypt by the Nile Valley, the Nile soil, the Nile waters is bound to be different from the cotton that is grown in the Indian soil, Indian waters and so on. Now this cotton, when they designed the Manchester looms, they designed it for this particular variety of cotton.
Egyptian cotton.
Which is a long staple cotton.
The Egyptian cotton is a long staple cotton. So the string that came out of the cotton, the fluffy cotton, had a longer length. So the spindles were designed to take the length of that cotton. So it was what you call in India as tanti. That was the the length of the string that will come. So while the Indian cotton was a short staple variety, it was a very hardy variety, could withstand the pests of India, could withstand the heat of India, could withstand the rugged natures of this. But what happened was, when the Manchester spinning mills, they were designed for the long staple cotton, the British told us that the Egyptian cotton is superior cotton because it suited their designed spinning mills, and they derisively dumped all the Indian cotton as inferior cotton, even though it was very hardy cotton, very effective cotton, and what gave the fine cotton for millennia. So in one stroke of a brush, in one stroke of a pen, they said all the Indian cotton, which is short staple cotton variety predominantly, as inferior cotton, and made the Indian cotton farmers also grow the long staple cotton of Egypt.
So the long staple cotton of Egypt was forced and thrust on India to be grown in India.
Obviously what happened, it didn't suit the Indian climate, it didn't suit the Indian soil, and what happened, it became pest ridden, couldn't stand the pests of India, which is but natural. So we not only lost the way to manufacture the cotton cloth to the Manchester mills, we also lost the skill to grow cotton. So the traditional hardy wonderful Indian cotton seeds lost out by British state government policy to the long staple cotton seeds that were imposed on us, brought in from Egypt. So that way we lost on two counts. One, on the production count, our production started dwindling year after year after year because we couldn't produce that variety of cotton in Indian soil. We couldn't grow that variety of cotton in Indian soil, and we couldn't produce like the Manchester cotton mills.
So we find that we were hit on both accounts. One, our native seeds, the native variety of short staple cotton was prohibited by the British. We no longer were cultivating the short staple cotton. We were forced to cultivate the long staple cotton, which made the farmer debt ridden also, because he had to invest more to keep his crop safe and ensure a good harvest of this long staple cotton, which needed a lot more protection than the hardy short staple variety. So the farmers went into debt. It has been a hit from all accounts. We have lost our ability to weave those beautiful weaves, local weaves, handicraft weaves. We lost our native variety of short staple cotton. We also put our farmers into heavy debt, because not only is cotton a very intensive, because it needs a lot of water as well, and it needs the long staple needs a lot more other inputs. So from all accounts, cotton growing became a very investment intensive activity, and that has led, if you see today we read a lot about farmer suicides and farmers being in debt, farmers being a poor community. All of this, if you go back, you will trace that their poverty starts from the time they were forced to switch over their crop pattern by the British. So this lies the story to some of the bitter tales around farmers and their industry today.
All this data is available in a few of our books. One is Brand Bharat, where we speak about how cotton has been a brand of India. Then in the other book, Breaking the Myths, where we speak about how the Indian cotton were sort of forced to look inferior, whereas they're actually superior, good quality cotton. They're forced to look inferior during the British times. And third, we have another book called Cotton, the Indian Story, in which we sort of bring in both these perspectives and weave a much stronger story of the cotton in India.